The cold night air, laced with dew and ancient magic, slipped through the open windows of the Silver Palace, a majestic structure on the outskirts of Lunareth that gleamed like a mirror under the moonlight. The crystal banquet hall, with its chandeliers twinkling like stars, echoed with laughter and the clinking of glasses, but a hidden tension hung in the air, like a violin string ready to snap. Hanzhen Eldrin, in his tattered grey coat and silver dragon pendant glinting at his neck, followed Mira the Lin through the crowd, his eyes fixed on a faint shimmer on her forehead, a midnight mark, a coiling black shadow tinged with a red glow, visible only to sorcerers with Eldralith chi. That mark was no coincidence, Hanzhen thought, his heart pounding. A curse, or a warning, he recalled the Mist Guardian's words in the Mist Valley, *Eldralith Magic sees what the veil hides. Beware the signs of darkness. Mira, in her flowing white chiffon gown, walked ahead, her smile bright but her eyes full of secrets. Hanzhen knew he couldn't let that mark bring calamity, not after what Mira had done for the Eldrin family 5 years ago at Silver Hill. Mira glanced back, her eyebrow raised with a playful expression. "You're following me like a shadow, Hanzhen," she said, her voice light but curious. "Don't tell me you're planning to sell witch potions here. I hear the Silver Palace doesn't take kindly to street vendors." She chuckled, but there was warmth in her eyes, as if recalling days at the Sorcery Academy when Hanzhen always got lost in the library. Hanzhen gave a faint smile, his hand brushing the dragon pendant, warm against his skin. "Not potions," he replied, his voice low but sharp. "I'm here to make sure you don't get into trouble. Again." He glanced at the midnight mark on her forehead, now coiling faster, like a serpent stirring. "And maybe, to say thank you." Mira stopped, her eyes widening. "Thank you? For what?" She tilted her head, like a bird studying something odd. "Don't tell me you still remember those rune drawings from class. You said they looked like a child's scribbles." Hanzhen held his breath, memories of Silver Hill flooding his mind, the simple monument Mira had built for his mother and father, its runes glowing under the full moon. "Why did you do that, Mira?" he thought. "I was nobody to you," but he only said, "You know what I mean." Mira smiled, but before she could reply, they reached a round glass table in the center of the hall. The crowd of Lunareth's elite sorcerers and non-mages stared at them, some admiring Mira, others sneering at Hanzhen's shabby coat. Mira sat gracefully, ignoring the stares, while Hanzhen stood by her side, his eyes scanning the room for the source of the threat signaled by the midnight mark. Shadows at the banquet **. The crystal banquet hall grew lively as the feast began, with servers carrying silver trays of drinks that shimmered like liquid gems. Several male sorcerers at Mira's table, dressed in lavish robes bearing their family crests, vied for her attention. "Director the Lin, we finally meet," said a man with golden hair, standing with an overly sweet smile. "I'm Baron Solis, of the Solis family. Our rune business could take the Aurum group to the top of Lunareth." Another man, in a deep blue robe, cut in, "And I'm Elyra Vionne, from the Crystalys gallery. Our artifact collection is far more interesting than Solis's outdated runes." Mira smiled politely, twirling her glass of sapphire-hued aqua stella, a sorcerer's drink that glowed with starlight. "Thank you, Master Solis, Master Vionne," she said, her voice soft yet firm. "But I'm here to enjoy the evening, not discuss business." She sipped her drink gracefully, but Hanzhen noticed her hand trembling slightly. The midnight mark on her forehead now coiled darker, like smoke pressing to escape. Hanzhen tried to catch her eye, whispering, "You don't have to drink all of that." But Mira shook her head, whispering back, "This is the Silver Palace, Hanzhen. I represent the Aurum group. I can't refuse without a reason." Before Hanzhen could argue, the hall's atmosphere shifted. The crowd fell silent as a man stepped from the main table, his black robe billowing like raven wings. His face was stern, his eyes glinting like lightning, and he held 2 glasses of aqua stella that radiated a dangerous shimmer. The midnight mark on Myra's forehead quivered violently, and Hanzhen felt his dragon pendant burn against his skin. Dorian Vane, Mira whispered, her face paling. Zara Vane's nephew. What's he doing here? Dorian approached, his smile cold and arrogant. Director the Lin, he said, his voice like a silk-sheathed blade. You left without a farewell at the last banquet. That was impolite. How about you drink this aqua stella as an apology? He extended one glass, its liquid glowing unnaturally, as if laced with magical poison. Hanzhen tensed, recognizing the trace of dark magic in the glass, beneficium, a liquid curse that could weaken a sorcerer. He knows, Hanzhen thought, his eyes narrowing. He's the one who placed the midnight mark on Mira. Memories of the Moonlight Festival, when Zara Vane destroyed his family, seared his chest. The Vane family never played fair. Mira hesitated, her hand inching toward the glass. Master Vane, I'm driving tonight, she said quickly, her voice trembling. How about I offer star tea instead? Dorian snorted, downing his own glass in one gulp, his eyes never leaving Mira. Don't play games, the Lin, he said, his tone now a command. I've reserved a room in the upper tower. If you're drunk, you can rest there. He smiled, but it was the smile of a wolf ready to pounce. The crowd at the table went silent, some smirking, enjoying the spectacle. Just drink, Director the Lin, urged a man in a red robe. Master Vane is honoring you. Don't anger the Vane family. Mira stared at the glass, her eyes reddening, her hand trembling. Hanzhen could see the conflict on her face, a young sorceress from a humble family, who had fought her way to a director's position at the Aurum Group, now trapped before the Vane family's power. She feels powerless, Hanzhen thought, anger burning in his chest. Just like I did at the Moonlight Festival. As Myra's fingers nearly touched the glass, the shadows beneath Hanzhen's feet stirred like living mist. He stepped forward, his hand brushing the dragon pendant, his voice cold as ice breaking the silence. Who do you think you are, daring to force her to drink? Dorian turned, his eyes narrowing, but before he could respond, Hanzhen whispered, Umbri. Shadows surged from the floor, forming dark claws that snatched the glass from Dorian's hand, shattering it into fragments that glittered like black snow. The crowd gasped, and Mira stared at Hanzhen, her eyes filled with shock and a glimmer of hope.